Hello, you beautiful people, and welcome to episode 6 of I Am the Hammer, the show in which I talk all things Grey Knights. We've had a brand new data slate, we've got new missions, we've got new rules, it's a whole new game. Let's see what's changed. Okay, so in this episode, I'm going to be going through all the things that have changed for Grey Knights and how I think they impact us as a faction. So, I'm going to look at their rules, or the rules in general that have changed. I'm going to be looking at the points changes, because obviously we've had a few. Then I'm going to talk about my list and how I've initially updated it. I have had a game with it, so I'll fill you in on that. Then someone on the Discord, because the Discord is growing now. Someone on Discord has shared a very different approach to list building than myself, so I just wanted to share it as an initial go. And then obviously I have got an updated matrix with a new piece of information in there. So, rules changes and their impact. Let me know in the comments if I've missed anything out, but I think I've covered most things. The things that impact us realistically. So, first of all, as you will know if you have used Dread Knights in combat and tried to rely on them, they suck, and more than likely they're going to let you down. But one way to mitigate that was with Tank Shock, in which you rolled 14 dice plus 2, so 16 dice, and every 5 or 6 was a mortal wound. And that was a great way of getting through 5 or 6 mortal wounds in the charge phase. It opened up a lot of possibilities. That rule was based off of your strength, and now it's changed to being based off of your toughness. Now, Dread Knights are only T8. That means they are weaker in Tank Shock than like Eldar Wave Serpent, right? So suddenly you're spending one of your very valuable CP to roll 8 dice. You don't get to roll more anymore either. And all of a sudden it's just not great. So that certainly does hurt Dread Knights to an extent, because the combat already was pretty average. So the next thing, all stratagems that give you low NOP, so in the case of Grey Knights, it's haloed in sulfur, and actually the example on the document is this stratagem. No longer is it low NOP for 12 inches, it's now 18 inches. Now, if you watched my video last time, you would have seen that I said, although it's a very powerful stratagem, 2 CP is really expensive, it's quite a niche case. Now this case is even nicher, you're very, very rarely going to see it. I don't know, maybe you drop down purifiers on one side of the board, blow something up, then have them low NOPed for 18 inches because you know the opponent's shooting stuff is over the other side of the board. Maybe that's the thing. But yeah, 18 inches is a big difference now, and you're just not going to see this stratagem much at all. So, Vortex of Doom. Now, Librarians have taken a little bit of an extra nerf. They didn't come up in points this time, but now you can no longer target low NOPs with it outside of the 12 inches. Obviously, beforehand, it was an ability, so you weren't subject to the low NOP rule, so you could blast them from 18 inches away. Now you have to be within 12. It's a minor change. If you're taking Librarians, you're still taking Librarians, right? This rule isn't going to change whether you take them or not. CP reduction. So this is a big one in the general landscape of the game. Now no longer is CP reduction abilities limited to battle tactics. It's now, and it doesn't make things free anymore either, it's just -1 to the cost. And it's across all different categories. So this is interesting for the Grandmaster to an extent. You know, a free Mr. Deimos is always tasty. Free Heroic Intervention is tasty. There are a few things which are quite nice. It's only once per battle though, and loads of other captains get to do it a battle round. We only get to do it once a battle. I don't think this is the reason you're suddenly putting the Grandmaster in if you weren't already, personally. But it's just a minor quality of life upgrade, I guess. Finally, Dev Wounds. Dev Wounds have changed now. Obviously, initially they used to just spill over like mortal wounds. That was unbelievably broken. So they've changed that. They changed it to just doing damage you couldn't take a save on. Now they've turned it back into mortal wounds, just that don't spill over. This is really important because all those sort of units out there that have protection against mortal wounds, it's now relevant when they're playing against devastating wounds. Drago's one of those. He gives a feel no pain against his with his unit against mortal wounds, so therefore against death wounds. Most people out there love Drago. They're already taking Drago, so this is just an extra big buff there. Like this is really nice, and I think you're going to see a lot of 5 or 10 man Terminator bricks with Drago with that feel no pain there. Yeah, can't see it changing really. So points, changes, and their impact. Dread Knights gone up again. This time, normal Dread Knight and the Grandmaster have both gone up 10 points. They're really trying to hammer down and get rid of that vehicle spam list that's been out there. You're probably still taking Dread Knights. I think the big list of 5 Dread Knights and 3 Redeemers has gone up 125 points. So interesting to see where those people go. You're probably still taking Dread Knights. They're still good. They're your only real way of dealing with tanks. You'll see how I've adjusted my list, but I have kept in a couple. Crow went up 15 points. Most of the content creators and internet out there are a bit like, why? I mean, I've got Crow on my list with 10 purifiers. I really like that. There's part of me which is like, do I just like it because it's cool? Actually, if I have an extra 340 points in my list, is that better spent elsewhere than Crow and 10 guys? I don't know. It's something I'm going to try and experiment with. But yeah, it is a shame. I mean, if you're still into that Purifier Bomb, then you're still taking that Purifier Bomb though. So overall, these changes just make things slightly more awkward. To put in perspective, my list, which was at 1980, has now gone up to 2020. And that means you drop something and you get 2/3 of something back. It's annoying because we have to go obviously into the allies to get cheaper things. So I think you're going to see people just trying to work hard to tweak things as small as possible, but it's going to be tough. I think you might start seeing more like the cheaper assassins, a few more like inquisitorial henchmen or voidsmen at arms or whatever. I think that's probably how you're going to see it, unless people just go, you know what, I can no longer make what I need to fit. You know, these big armor vehicle spam lists, they're lacking on the mission play, and now maybe they just don't quite have enough and the list then falls apart. I'm not sure. I think it's going to be quite interesting to see where it lies. One thing, and I will do a video down the line on kind of Pariah in general, but one thing I did really want to point out, in Leviathan, 3 out of 16 actions, secondaries needed an action. And that wasn't that big a deal, right? That really wasn't that big a deal. Now it is 5 out of 18, okay? That is like a 10% increase. You are going to see suddenly there are far more situations where you need to be doing an action. There's 2 new ones where you need to survive to the end of the turn as well. So yeah, when you're building your lists, you really do need to make sure you've got that mission play in now. Otherwise, you're just going to be giving up points. It's much harder to get to 100. It's much harder to score high scores now. And therefore, all of those secondaries really do matter. So you need to have things that can go and get those points. So yeah, just bear that in mind when you're building lists. So, what have I done? Well, when it comes to me and building lists with a new edition change, what I do is I try and take the list that I've been using and having success with, let's say, and I'm going to change it to the smallest amount possible so that I can then see how do I play these missions? How do I learn the game? Then, as I play the new missions, as I learn the new meta, I go, actually, I don't need this anymore, and that sort of thing, right? So in the case of this list, I was like, what is the minimal change I can make? So, got the captain with 10 paladins, still like that unit, it's fun, I want to keep using it for now. Crew of 10 purifiers, still like that unit, want to keep using it, see how it goes. 2x5 strikes. We're looking for battle line now. You need to have at least one battle line unit in your list just to stop them auto scoring that secret mission. And you've got to try and make sure they're still alive, right? But bear that in mind. 2x5 interceptors, still really like them. And then what I decided to do was I dropped. So if you remember 2 tournaments ago, I was running 2 Dread Knights and 5 Terminators. What I've done is I've dropped one of the Dread Knights, so I'm back down to 2, which is what I was running initially. And that freed me up some points to then get some more mission playing. So I wanted to try Brother Captain Stern, so I ran him, and also an assassin. So the choices for me were Calexis or Eversaw. I think both of them work. I had one game and I wanted to give the Calexis a go, so I've tried that. But I think you can kind of go either way. Like for example, if you were like, no, I want the Grandmaster in, you just have the Eversaw in instead. Or maybe this might even be 1995 points. I can't actually remember. In terms of moving forward, I've got Sheffield in mid July, which I want to do well at. Just trying to work out what list I'm going to take. It will almost certainly be based around this. The current thinking is I would take something like this, but the flex thing at the moment, I hate to say this, is Crow of the 10 Purifiers. Because that might have to become, and again, I do still hate this, might have to become Drago with 5 Terminators. Because of our new demon threat. Demons are, whether they're good or not, that's hard to say, but demons are going to be popular. Demons is a bad matchup for Grey Knights because demons get around a lot of the tricks of the Grey Knights, and they can just drop down 6 inches and charge you. Now, can it kill you? Well, we'll see, but it's not a great matchup for us. And Drago, at least if I have Drago, who can just drop down, fail his 6-inch charge, CP reroll it, make the charge, and then 2 CP dev wounds, and hopefully one shot will shoot. That unit will almost certainly one shot a greater demon, and then that's a decent place to be, right? So I'm gonna have to try it. I don't want to do it. I'm very resistant to Drago, but everyone keeps telling me I should be running him, so we'll see. But yeah, I actually really like this list. So I have had one game with it, and it's live on stream. So if you haven't checked it out yet, we've started a new show called Friday Night Fight, where Ed is going to be playing various people on TTS every Friday live on stream. We did our very first one, and I played in it. I played my Grey Knights into his Eldar. Now, Eldar is a very good matchup for Grey Knights, so I was pretty confident. Ed is an exceptional player. He's top 10 in the UK at the moment, so that was kind of a balancing act. And we played Tipping Point. We played Dawn of War, and we played, can't remember what it's called now, Linchpin, where you get 3 points for holding your home field and 5 for all the no man's land ones you hold. And then if you don't hold your home field, you then get 3 points for holding your no man's land. So yeah, that was an interesting game. I didn't play it particularly well. I was a bit fast and loose a little bit because I wanted to investigate some damage outcomes. And both times I tried that and just left something out to see if it would die, it definitely died. So I kind of gave away a couple of units for free in that game. But the game came down to literally the final dice roll. So I won't spoil it for you in case you do want to check it out. We did play it as like a coaching game, so we're just constantly talking about our ideas, offering up suggestions. So yeah, go watch it. Let me know what I do wrong, apart from the 2 obvious things. But give them a unit of strikes and a unit of interceptors just for experiment's sake. But yeah, no, it was cool to try out the list. I like the list. Yeah, I think it's a pretty decent list, and it does a bit of everything. You're not going to lose big with this list, right? It just scores well. It's got threats. You're not going to lose big with it. You've got to just play well to do well with it. I enjoy that. I enjoy that aspect as a list. However, other types of lists are out there, and 20 Phoenix in our Discord kind of said this was a starting point for him, and I wanted to share it with you just because it's completely different to how I've been approaching it. So you've got 2 librarians and 2 tech marines. There to go with 5 dread knights. Now, obviously, the tech marines can buff the dread knights, but also can be there for mission play. You've got 5 strikes because you've got to have the 5 strikes, and Canis Rex. Canis Rex is a beast, according to some people. According to other people, it's a complete waste of time. He can now walk through walls, though. So you start him in your big out, and then boom, surprise! He's got the free CP reroll, which is usually what it's used for. But here's 400 points, and if your opponent can put their army into him, he will just die because you don't have rotate iron shields and stuff like that. So it's an interesting one. But yeah, if you're looking for a vehicle style list, I think with 5 Dread Knights, Cancer X, I think this is a really cool place to start. So thanks to 20 Phoenix for that list. So updated matrix, I've just added Eldari in. It's still a win for us, I think. On level player skill, it's still a win. Eldar just hate everything that Grey Knights can do. The only annoying thing for Grey Knights is Phantasm, which can still be annoying because you have to allow for the fact that they could roll the 6. That's the thing. But yeah, it's still definitely a good matchup. I haven't played the other matchups yet, so I can't say what's changed. Orcs Green Tide, we had a 11% win rate into that, but that's been nerfed, so I would expect that to go up. Iron Storm has been nerfed, so you're not going to see Iron Storm anymore. Tyranids got buffs, so maybe that's changed. Sisters, I don't know. Lots of people still say how incredible they are. So yeah, we'll see. CSM have taken nerfs, but I still think that's a skill matchup, which is drawish. Necrons have been nerfed, but I still feel that's quite a decent one. So yeah, interesting. I was on a Blood Angel Discord the other day, and they were saying they were a bit worried about Grey Knights because of Mr. Deimos, but I think that's probably a bit of a player skill matchup as well. Can you not get hit by the Blood Angel? Because obviously they just hit so hard. So yeah, that's all for now. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. Join Discord. More and more people chatting. Our Discord does have over 350 people talking about all things Warhammer. So please do come and join us. It's completely free. And what I'm going to do now, I'm unbelievably busy at work at the moment. I'm a teacher, coming to the end of term. So I'm going to take probably a week or 2 off now. And what I'm going to do is wait for the early tournaments to use Pariah Nexus. And then let's see how the Grey Knights. I'm going to come back with some good Grey Knight lists and share them with you so you can maybe work out what's being successful at the moment, talk about them in relation to the terrain and all that sort of thing. So thanks a lot for watching. Pleasure as always, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.